It's time for Artist Direct on KDEC FM 100.5, your local connection to the music scene. Today's program is made possible by Holstrom Jewelers, Elm Street, Cresco.
What do you say we get silly throughout all them hilly peaks and valleys, streets and alleys? Started in a village, had to pillage, but now I got the key to the city and it's got me feeling pretty good. And it should, if you could, then you would too. Pardon, can I trouble you? You look sweet like honeydew. I wanna kiss, I wanna taste, wanna feel your embrace. I want your hands on my waist as we dance on a date. It might be destiny, you sitting next to me. Cook me like a recipe and book me like a registry. And I'll be back every second, every hour. Every kingdom, every tower should be bowing to your power. But not me, see, cause I'm gonna be your prince, your hubby. So let's get lovey-dovey tonight. Hey, 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 what do you say now? What do you say? What do you say? Hey, 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 say, yeah, 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 yeah. Girl, won't you shake me just like AC/DC all night long like this song? You be the queen, I'll be your pawn. So check your mate, cause I'm liking what I'm seeing. You got me heavy breathing when I turn and see you leaving. Like an addict, I start to panic. Take it as flattery, you charge me like a battery. So don't be mad at me, just be glad to be the affectionate object of my obsessity. I got range, I'm a pocket full of change, and you're the arcade. Can I play your game? Select your weaponry, sit down right next to me. We'll take on an army and assassinate the enemy. I got your back, little lady, call me matey. And we can set sail on the seas until we're 80. We'll start in Haiti, you can be baby, and I will dirty dance you like Patrick Swayze. Hey, 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 now what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Hey, 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 what do you say? Yeah, yeah, what do you say? Put your head on my shoulder, I'll be your heart holder, and I'll protect you from an avalanche of boulders. I'll make you hot when you get colder, and take you to the fountain of youth when you're older. I'm your wizard, the snow in your blizzard. My rhymes are on time, FedEx delivered. I'll make you shiver like a cold river. Pull out my axe and make you scream timber. Hey, 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 now what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Hey, 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 what do you say? What do you say now? What do you say? Oh, hey, 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 what do you say now? What do you say? What do you say? Hey, 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 what do you say? Yeah, yeah, what do you say?
It's Artist Direct here on FM 100.5, and we are in studio with Jason Boots, and I love it. It's only happened one other time when I've been sitting in the studio and lyrics go by and I'm just fighting to laugh because those are some fun lyrics, Jason.
Yeah.
Well. I love the reference to AC/DC, and what else do we have there? Patrick Swayze,
Patrick
FedEx.
Swayze.
Yeah.
So for a wordy song
and your
like
axe,
that,
of course.
I mean, I don't know how mmany wordy songs you have in the repertoire like that, but what do you do to remember everything? I mean,
it was a challenge just now. Yeah,
I remember when REM would go back and pull out "It's the End of the World as We Know It" after not playing it for 10 years. Michael Stipe would have to put out a song list.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You reeled this off, no problem.
I have seen that. I've seen some bands that I've toured with that have had hits on the radio, and I'm like, I know that song, and they don't even know that song. It is pretty bizarre. That's a new song. I wanted to play it just because it is very wordy and it's sort of a challenge, and no real vocal range to exceed on that one. It's just a lot of rhythmatic word speaking.
But it's so fun and it's so good. And we're gonna talk about the writing of that in just a moment. But I do want to say, when you talk about no vocal range on that one, you drove all the way from Rockford, Illinois. You did a show last night, right?
Yeah.
And what time did you pull into town?
I got here about the Quality Inn at about 3:45.
3:45.
So those songs like that are good for mental exercise and mental stimulation.
Yeah, at 8 in the morning.
Keep you moving.
Exactly.
Get you going, get you started for the day. I'll pull out that song that has about 3 pages worth of words.
Yeah. So let me ask you, in terms of writing that, when you're on the road, does it does it start to feel like, oh, I need to write something to get my brain moving here? Because that one is slightly different than a lot of your other songs, in that it has all these sort of like quirky, fun little.
Yeah, that
inserts.
song originated from like having writer's block. Like I always try to write, and sometimes, so often, like a lot of singer-songwriters, the easy ones are the ones that are done in 10 minutes, or the effortless ones, and then when you sit and try to write something, it doesn't come out. But so this one, I did just that. I sat down with an empty sheet of paper, and my first thought was, what do you say? And that's the first line of the song, and that became the chorus, and it was done pretty lickety-split. It was just kind of, I'm going to have fun with this song, and I'm not going to go too far in the deep meanings of life. I'm just going to have a fun little ditty.
Actually, sometimes it's good to. I love listening to a good song that'll take you into that melancholy feeling. But when you can get a song that'll just make you laugh and kind of dance around a little bit, it feels good.
Definitely, you have to have some of those.
Indeed. By the way, we're talking with Jason Boots here on Artist Direct FM 100.5. And while we're talking with him, if you're on your computer, maybe you're streaming us online, or you're at your computer at work, remember you can go. We put a link on our Facebook page to his music page, and you can start checking him out and his music out while we're here talking with him. But Jason, you're originally from Hastings, Minnesota.
Hastings.
And we've been doing a little poor guy. We've been doing a little reminiscing about southern Minnesota here because, Radio Bob's from Hayfield, and my grandpa used to like to go to Little Oscars, which is near that whole sort of that 52 range of things. What is it? Coates and Hastings and Hampton. Yeah.
Definitely.
How often do you get back to Hastings?
I would say I'm back there about, I would say anywhere from 8 to 10 times a year. Varies on how long, but I would say I spend about a month back in Minnesota, usually out of the year.
That's got to be fun because you are living in Los Angeles.
Yeah, living in LA, it's definitely a difference of lifestyle. I left pretty early. I started playing. I didn't start playing music till I was 27.
Yeah,
and I moved to LA when I was 20. So Minneapolis has a big, pretty popular music scene, but I was not anywhere near it. I was in Hastings. I was under 21, so I never really went out up there. And
that's a good point.
Got any of that stuff going.
But you're kind of tying in with the Minneapolis music scene now, though. You were just up at the Fine Line,
right,
and you do some shows up there.
I do some shows up there. I know some of the, I know Martin Zeller, and he was a big influence of mine, and I always loved him and his songs, and that's definitely influencing my music. The Bodines as well. I
think I just heard Joel in La Crosse, our big Bodines fan.
He's pulling over.
He just hooted for you. He now is obsessed with you too, I'm sure.
Love the Bodines. I kind of started honing my sound sort of on that kind of Midwestern rock. I don't know, songwriter rock, I guess. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, is there a Midwestern sensibility when it comes to music and rock and roll in particular?
I find I find influences everywhere. I mean, I find it from country music and hip hop music, even if it's got some content that will move me. But I think the the structure of the Midwest is a good place to. Some of the Midwestern artists have a structure that I kind of tend to follow.
Yeah.
A belief system or whatever it is, just the upbringing here and the easy way of life, sort of.
I think that makes sense. There was sort of a similar conversation that we had with Mason Jennings, where he was saying something kind of similar, that there is something in the water or whatever it is, or in our background, that maybe makes us relate to the music in a slightly different way, and in a way that comes out as very earnest and fun.
And is that what came out when you started playing in L.A.? Is that the sound that came out? And how did it relate to the folks in L.A. and in the Valley?
Right. Well, I went out, moved out to L.A. and was in a whole different world. I lived with Stifler from American Pie for 3 years.
A guy that's like Stifler, or that guy?
No, it was him. Yeah, Sean William Scott, and
okay, that's just funny, actually.
Yeah, if you ever, I don't know where you can find it, but it happens on the road every once in a while. there was an MTV Cribs with him and I, and it's out there.
Wait, I didn't know we had a guy who was on MTV Cribs.
I
in
was
the
sitting on a
studio.
couch.
Come
It was
on.
the best Cribs ever because it was a 2-bedroom apartment in Studio City, and it was in shambles.
Please tell me that that's awesome, actually. Please tell me that your crib had some books in it. That's the one thing. Have you noticed every Cribs that they go to, everyone's got these like big Godfather posters and they're showing off their cars,
Right,
but nobody's
right.
got any books.
I think we had maybe one or two. We had a good VHS collection. I know that.
I don't want to ask
I
any
had
more
a
about
ton
that.
of CD. I worked at for Virgin Records,
Yeah.
and I had tons of CDs, and those are boxed up somewhere. I still kept them because I worked way too hard to get a collection like that, but they just have no place in my
So fantastic.
clutter of space. So
Were you acting or what were you doing?
yeah, I started as kind of
Because you got the
entertainment.
good looks. We've
Yeah,
established
well,
that. So was it? Yeah.
Thank you.
Tim was telling me.
I started down that road a little bit, and I started auditioning and doing all that stuff that you do and taking the classes, and it wasn't as much of a freedom of expression for me. It always seemed like work, and it always seemed like kind of a pain in the butt to do any sort of acting.
Yeah.
And but it is a tough craft, and it's definitely there's an art to it. It just wasn't for me, I don't think.
Well, the maintenance of keeping an acting career, even on a small scale,
Right.
you put in far more work getting the gig than you do actually
True.
doing the gig, right?
And I was with Sean when he was out there, and he was working at Home Depot, and we were both borrowing money from each other at different points, and I saw him kind of shoot off into it. It happened. I mean, it did sort of happen overnight, but at the same time, he worked very hard to get where he was, to get those opportunities, and it took a long time. I mean, he only made. I remember when American Pie, when he was filming it, nobody knew any of those actors, and it was super. I think he made like $5,000 or $6,000 off that movie.
Oh, you're kidding.
And it didn't. They shelved it for a year because they kept wanting to hold on to it because they felt good about it being a hit, and they wanted to put it out at the right time and all that stuff. And that was the year the new Star Wars movie was coming out, so they delayed it off of that. And I remember him sitting back going, keep hearing this movie's going to be awesome, and but I can't get another acting job.
Because nobody knows me.
Nobody knows me, and
Man.
I made like $5,000, and $5,000 in LA, I'll get you
Lunch.
below that in a couple weekends easily.
So while you were there, what was your plum acting gig that you landed?
I did a couple little things. Nothing. I was in a ton of short films, and that's how I started doing music. Actually, was writing. I started writing because I was like, well, I'm not going to get cast into these projects because I'm not a good auditioner or actor. So I'm just going to write myself into some of these, and that's what we had a production company. We started putting in some short films together, and that's how I started. I started kind of writing songs for a couple characters that I did because I was always a music fan, and it was always what I wanted to do, but I never played guitar. So that was my next step. It took about, I don't know, a couple years later. Somebody got me a guitar. It sat in my apartment, my little apartment, for a couple years, and I finally said, I'm throwing this thing out because I don't have space for this. I'm either going to learn how to play it or throw it out. I locked myself in a room one day and didn't come out till I had a couple songs. And
Wow, that's
on we
tenacity.
go.
Well, can you play us another song while you're here? I want to get a few songs in from you.
Sure.
And again, we're with Jason Boots here on Artist Direct FM 100.5. Thanks again to Holstrom Jewelers for sponsoring this program. Tell us what we're going to hear, Jason.
I'll play a little Wake Up in the Morning song. It's I wrote this song in Houston because I toured the band called Roger Klein and the Peacemakers, and the drummer was working out and stretching out on a sidewalk, and I had my guitar, and I was like, stretch it out, 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 and it turned into a song. It got catchy for the whole tour. Everyone was singing it, and I was like, well, I'm going to write some lyrics to it, and it's actually, I got pretty in-depth about it. It's not just about stretching out and going for a run. It's about kind of stretching out your life and kind of reaching for what you're achieving to do with your life, and getting off the couch and getting ambitious.
That's cool. And, you know, if we're at work right now and feeling a little logy, it's a good word, logy. Learn it. It's
far different from loogie.
Loogie, yes.
Yeah.
If you're getting a little logy, can we get up and do a little stretch with your song this morning?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. It's Jason Boots here on Artist Direct FM 100.5.
Have you ever looked back and wished what you did was done in a different way? Did you give up hope or cut that rope? Do you still hang on just a little every day? Do you look to the sky? Do you love? Do you try? Do you dance? Do you sing? Do you give a little smile cause you laugh and you cry? You live till you die, so if you're gonna stick around, have fun a little while. And stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Because that weekend's just around the corner. Oh, and forever is such a long time. And nobody knows what's coming up tomorrow. So borrow some happiness tonight. Oh, and stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Well, if you had every answer to every question, would you share with others or let them keep guessing? Would you take control or sell your soul? Is the world any better with self-oriented goals? Cause you make money, send money, take money, spend money, set aside bills, saving for your will, but you can't put a price on the days passing by. So take a deep breath, open up your stride and stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, you gotta run to the end. Don't pretend that you're tired. Get wired, get inspired. Give a hug, be desired. Feel love and pain. Dream a little every day. Don't wait to make a change. Make the change you wanna make and stretch it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out. Well, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out.
Artist Direct on FM 100.5 with Jason Boots in studio, here from LA, traveled all the way from Rockford, Illinois. Got in at 4 this morning, and we made him come in at 8. Now that's a trooper.
I stretched. I'm good.
Does songs like that get stuck in your head and eventually like make you nuts?
Yeah, that one did, and I was like, I was recording an album, and that was not going to be on it or even
Really?
be on the radar. I mean, I was already like halfway through recording it. We went on tour, and I said that has to go on the album, and I have to write it, and it has to happen fast because we're recording, and I wrote it pretty quick, and it's one of my favorites for sure. I think some people, I don't know how that song is received. I think it might be nails on a chalkboard for some, but it's
No, it's great.
I like it.
That's the kind of song you want, right? The song that like the hook, you can't help it, it's there. That's why they call it the hook, right? And
Right.
it's there, it's stuck into you all day long. I know I'm going to be singing that all day.
Yep. When you are touring, like the tour you're talking about, when you played that show in Houston and you wrote the song, and the shows you're playing right now, is it just you? Is it you and your guitar, and you got anybody playing with you?
I just for these shows started playing with a girl named Cara Granger. She lives in LA, and she is from Australia, and she's a wicked guitar player and great voice, and it's been fun. I kind of started a project sort of called the Bootstraps, because I get kind of I always kind of wanted to have a band name. I don't know why. It just seems like more fun.
Makes sense to
And
me.
have a logo and stuff. And I never get to really play too much. A lot of my playing out is solo, just because where I'm at in my life and traveling and finances, and it's tough to keep a band together. And so a lot of my music gets catered to me playing solo, but when I record, it's a whole different vibe, and it's great. And so she's been playing with me, and we're doing like a little duo thing, and it's been a good. It's been keeping me on my toes, refreshing old songs and doing all that stuff.
And you have some performances coming up, actually, that folks can check out here this weekend.
Right, playing in Hastings, my hometown. There's a Hastings Music Festival on Saturday. I'm playing at 3 p.m.
Now tell me about this. What is that? Because I haven't heard of the Hastings Music Festival.
I hadn't either. Somebody brought it to my attention. I guess I think it was somebody, a mutual friend of Martin Zeller's, said that he had done it either last year or the year before, and I didn't even know what it was, and I was like, well, I'm from that town, and I need to know what this is. And so I reached out to them, and they threw me in kind of sort of last minute. It's an all-day thing. It's for the Hastings Family Service, I believe, and I think tickets are $10, and it's goes all to charity. And then I'm playing later that night the 21 and over rock and roll RJ's Tavern on 2nd Street.
Nice. That's always good places to go see shows, right?
So I'll definitely be pulling out a couple 80s hair metal rock songs acoustically.
Any of the AC/DC that you
play
referenced in your first song?
AC/DC, and last night in Rockford I played it was bike night, so there was a ton of leather in the crowd, so I had to
bike night in Rockford, Illinois. I got a picture of this,
pretty
man.
rough.
Yeah.
So what'd you play?
So I played Stretch It Out, and I got tomatoed in the face. No,
So
you got to be a little more creative.
All right,
on
what
those.
worked?
So yeah, I got some songs that I have a song called "Single Life" that was pretty well received. It's just kind of about being single, or if you're not single, wishing that you were. And the glass is half full. And now I played for covers. I definitely dusted off some. We did some Neil Young and God, what else did we do? I can't. We played some 80s. I don't know, Journey and REO Speedwagon.
Of course, it's bike night in Rockford.
I love an artist that can pull out Journey.
But I will say,
break out the Journey covers,
they
sure.
definitely. I don't partake in the drugs, but there was some Mary Jane floating around, and
sure.
I think I got a contact buzz. But I do remember when I drove last night, I was just buzzing through radio stations on the way here, and it was like slim pickings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Middle of the night, sure.
And I think I had a contact buzz because I was like, oh, Iron Man from Black Sabbath, and I was just rocking out huge. I was like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard. And then I got to, I tuned into 100.5 when I got close enough, and Morrissey was on, and I was like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard. Something about a tour bus.
We were playing. There's a light that never goes out. Yeah,
light that never goes out.
When the double-decker bus crashes into us. Yeah.
Yeah. When I tour with the Peacemakers, the lead guitar player Jim Dalton pulls that song out, and I'm always like, that song rules, man. That's great.
I love it. I'm just imagining him driving like Bike Night rocks.
I don't know how that would go over at Bike Night, but you might try it sometime.
Yeah.
The music that's available on your website, the stuff that your albums and your CDs. Tell us how many you've recorded. And
I've recorded 2 albums, and the one is out of print, and I need to get that going again, and I need to get it on iTunes because it's called From the Edge of Dreamtown, and it was my first kind of batch of songs, and it took me a while to get it recorded. It was just pieced together here and there, so the recording quality isn't that great, but I love the songs, and I actually re-recorded. I'm going to re-record. I've re-recorded 2 of those songs, and I want to re-record probably another 3 or 4 and do like a Dreamtown Revisited or something and give the songs their proper due. And then I have Holding On to an Evening Gone, which is available on iTunes and or CD for all the people that still play CDs.
No.
Hey, we're still out there.
That's okay, old man.
I don't have
Tim.
any digital device. I pop it into the machine and hit it and track it right on through.
That's a whole
That's
long,
the way music is meant
like,
to be heard.
constant-
Jason.
Yeah,
Don't get him started. Album work, cover art, it's a whole thing. We don't want to go
I did
there.
listen on the way in to your troubles with the online things.
Yeah.
It reminded
technology
me of my
issues.
mom, because my mom over Christmas got a.
I remind me of his mom. Okay.
I send her all these links and to things I'm doing or this and that, and I just found out she lives near Albert Lee and out in the sticks, and she's like, I have dial-up. I'm like, you still have. I didn't even know that existed, and so we got her an iPad, and she freaked out. She was like, oh my goodness, there's a whole other world out here. And I mean, about a week later, this was over Christmas, so like a week later, I remember her sending me an email. Have you heard of this YouTube?
Oh no!
And I was like, wow.
Wow.
You can watch
my.
videos on here.
Jason, tell us your website and then take us out with the song here.
All right, yeah, it's just www.jasonboots.com.
BOOTS.
BOOTS. Yep. Most people think I'm a country singer, but that is not the case.
That is not the case. And is your mom listening on her Apple now?
Ooh, I wonder. I don't know. I told her about it, but I don't think she's got that far ahead.
That's fair enough.
We can make this accessible for her.
Because if she is, by the way, she is now like head and shoulder above Tim.
Oh, knock it
Right.
off. Knock it off.
Love you, Tim.
Tell us about the song, Jason, and thanks for
This is a
coming
song. One of the first songs I wrote. It's basically a ode to my gambling addiction that I once had. I grew up near Treasure Island Resort and Casino, and spent many times at the ATM withdrawing money that I did not have and getting receipts. Hey, but I found $20 in my pocket today when I put these pants on, so it's already a good day.
It's coming back to you. See? It's Jason Boots here on Artist Direct FM 100.5. What's the name of the song?
The name of the song is Roulette.
Roulette. I love it. It's great. Glad to have you here.
Thank
and
you so
I
much.
got to give a shout out. Thanks, Stephanie, for telling us all about you.
Definitely.
Big supporter
Decorah
of live music.
rocks. I like it down here. It
Right.
reminds me of Hastings.
Come back anytime you like.
Definitely.
It's FM 100.5 Artist Direct with Jason Boots.
Would a smile cross your face if I turned and lost it all? Well, who's got the pride inside to get up after the fall? I failed so many times before by never taking the chance. So open up them gates of fate. Destiny is begging me to dance. See that roulette wheel spin round, feel the tension in the air. The future shows are so unknown, every day's a different day there. And you could say I'm a losing man, and I would say that's true. But take my hand, baby, let it ride, 'cause I'm betting it all on you. Right here tonight. Life is like a roulette spin. See that luck run round the wheel again. You might lose all that you put in, but take the chance, you just might win. Think of all the places we'd go if we ran and we never looked back. We got a 50-50 chance, like picking red or black. Don't be afraid, just lay it all down, let them chips fall where they may. You know it's true, you just can't lose, winning by just playing the game. Close your eyes and drift away to a dream of everlasting grace. You can't find the answers out there, the questions keep getting chased. Another dollar hits the floor as the wheel keeps spinning around. A winner throws his hands up high, loser hangs his head, wondering why. Sometimes life is like a roulette spin. See that love run round the wheel again. You might lose all that you put in, but take the chance, you just might win. And if you don't, try again. 'Cause I've been up and I've been down, and I've been running around this old town, waiting for my next winning streak. But I keep losing, and we all know losing sucks. But sometimes there's some hope and there's some luck, and well, sometimes that's all you need. And I just need a little more luck. A little luck is all I need. I just need a little more luck. A little luck is all I need. I just need a little more luck, a little luck is all I need. I just need a little more luck, so take a chance on me. 'Cause I just need a little more luck. You just need a little more luck. And we could use a little more love. Oh-oh. Whoa.
Thank you for listening to Artist Direct, presented by Holstrom Jewelers, Elm Street, Cresco. Catch Artist Direct again next week, right here on FM 100.5 KDEC.